Good morning. Welcome to Our Town at Comma Coffee. I'm Kurt Caraway. This morning we're going to be talking with Bob Reid, who's the man behind the stage production I Say Nevada. Right now we're going to take a short break for a word from our sponsor.
The Carson Mall has fantastic food. All this and more at the Carson Mall.
Welcome back, and we're talking with Bob Reid, and you are the writer of I Say Nevada and piano player and all-round person who...
All-round person. Yes, I answer to that. The new show, I Say Nevada, is not really new. We had it 2 years ago at the Brewery Arts Center, and it was very popular. We sold out most of our seats over 3 weekends. And I've written a new version, which is based partially on the old version, and it contains a lot of new material, some new songs and some new sketches that are based on some of the crazy things that have happened in Nevada in the last 2 years, which are easy to find. We live in a state where I can keep updating this thing every year or probably every 2 weeks because of the crazy stuff that goes on here. All
right. So now the shows that you've got scheduled for this at the BAC are, when are they? They are, let me make sure I have it right, they're the 22nd and 23rd, Friday and Saturday, and then the following weekend we're doing 3 shows, the 29th, 30th, and 31st. The 31st is a matinee on Sunday at 2 o'clock. Oh, Halloween, yeah.
Halloween, and Nevada Day.
And Nevada Day. So anyway, tell us a little bit how you came up with this. You know, you wrote this a couple years ago, right?
I wrote it a couple of years ago. I used to live in New York City, and back in those days, I don't know, they still may do it, but you could go to a club and there would be about 3 or 4 or 5 people, very talented actors, comedians, sitting on a stage with just almost like Saturday Night Live kind of sketches and funny songs. And they were called reviews, and they were all topical about things that were going on in the world. And I fell in love with watching those shows. I'd go to a lot of them, and I made it in the back of my mind that someday I wanted to try to write one for myself based on whatever was going on in the world. And it happened that I moved to Nevada 15 years ago, and I've been collecting material for the show ever since. And it's pretty easy stuff to write.
So what kind of stuff is in this? I mean, obviously there's a little play on the problem with pronouncing our state's name.
The title, I Say Nevada, is because people do have difficulty understanding how to pronounce it. So we straighten that out. There's a song in the show that helps people to understand how they need to pronounce the words. And there are things about cowboy poetry and about Area 51 and about our dear Senator and Sharon Angle and about our dear beloved governor and about a lot of things about Las Vegas. We get Liberace in there. There's just about everything that you can think about Alaska. That's the next one I'm going to write.
Oh, yeah.
About Nevada is pilloried and roasted to death.
Okay, so let us in on a little bit of roasting here. Like, what's a good new roast you've got going on in this one?
Well, that's not fair. I want people to come and see the thing.
Okay, well,
I will tell them that all of our politicians are roasted equally.
Okay.
And so if you're a Democrat or Republican or anything on either side, you'll enjoy the show because
you'll equally laugh and be offended.
You can be offended and laughing half of the time, and I think you won't leave there feeling as though you've had an unfair experience.
All right. So now, some of the folks, how many people are in the show that you have?
There's a band with 3 members. I play the piano. I got a bass player and a drummer, and I want to make sure I list all the cast members correctly. Tony DeGesso, Kevin Karp, Kate Cook, Corey Stockton, Michonne Chandler Douglas, and June Joplin, who is very familiar to those of us here.
Our proprietor here at Comma Coffee. So we're going to take a short break right now and come right back after a word from our sponsor.
The Carson Mall has exciting shopping. All this and more at the Carson Mall.
And we're back talking with Bob Reid. And
we were just talking about the people who are in the show, and now what about the songs? You've got a lot of songs in this. What kind of songs are?
There are 8 songs. They're all based on topical things that are going on, and I think we have some footage of some of the clips from a couple of the songs taken at rehearsals. So maybe we can look at those right now.
Let's play a little bit of that rehearsal footage now.
I may have been crazy, cuckoo, loco, but it wasn't a nut. Oh, I may have been crazy, cuckoo, loco, but I wasn't a nut.
Well, hey, that was great. That was great footage. I think people are going to really like that.
Well, I need to mention that Karen Chandler is the director, and she is just wonderful. She has a great comedic sense. She has long experience as a director here in Carson and elsewhere. And she took the show that was in pretty raw form when I finished it, and just came up with incredibly brilliant ideas. And the 6 actors who were in the show know how to respond to her and how to do some improvisation of their own. And so, you know, it's wrong for me to take credit for the show. It's really like all theatrical performances. It's a collaboration. And I'm just really grateful that Karen was available to do this for us.
All right. Well, if, you know, obviously I think you're going to probably continue this show, continue writing new stuff for this, and
I'm calling this edition, this is the 2nd edition, as I mentioned earlier, I'm calling this edition the Government Bailout Edition. And I'm expecting that about every year I'll be able to update it with something that's topical and that has probably based on some awful things going on, like bankruptcies and government bailouts and so on. So you can look forward to seeing another version of it probably in the next year. We're hoping to go to Art Town with it and to some community theaters. And probably during the legislative session, we're going to be doing a shortened version of it every week, probably an hour-long version of it, maybe on a Thursday night in a cabaret setting, perhaps like Comma Coffee, for people to come, and 30 or 40 people can sit and enjoy some of the latest versions that I've got.
Yeah, there we go. We'll have to ask June about that.
She hasn't invited us yet, but maybe,
well,
maybe we'll do it.
Sounds like it'd be a good show. Well, anyway, I want to thank you for coming on and talking to us about this.
It was a pleasure, and I appreciate all the work you do and giving this some publicity. It's great.
And let's say the dates again are the 22nd, 23rd,
29, 30, and 31.
31st. All right, everybody. I hope everybody gets there. And anyway, thanks for tuning in to Our Town. We'll catch you next time.
The Carson Mall has excellent services. All this and more at the Carson Mall.